Hey there, Danger Crew. I'm Harvey. This is Harvey Danger Films, and I do vlog style tips, tricks, travel, and reviews. And today we're going to take a look at what might be the best first knife for a child, a teenager, or even an adult if they're familiarizing themselves with the use of a knife, a pocket knife, kitchen knife, any type of work knife, that type of thing. So let's take a look and we'll get into it. So that's kind of a joke. This definitely would not be appropriate for a first knife. This is what we're going to talk about today. This is the Opinel, and this is an incredibly light knife. It does a great job of being an everyday carry or a children's knife, teenager's knife, an adult's knife who's trying to learn how to use a knife. It has a great safety feature, and it's unique in that the cuff will lock the blade in place or closed by swiveling it this way, and so it cannot close on your fingers, which is a great safety tool. Turn it back and it will close, and then you can use the cuff again to lock it in place so that it can't accidentally open. I really like this knife because the handle is very lightweight. It's made out of wood. It will also float if you happen to drop it in water. And the great thing about this knife is that it's a great introductory knife, not only because it's lightweight and made out of great materials, but because it has this rounded tip on it. So if you're looking at a first knife for somebody, you want something that is very sharp. It will hold a good edge. You can sharpen it, but also has a rounded tip so that you don't have to worry about stabbing yourself or the person who is using a knife stabbing themselves. And the second thing that I picked up for my daughter, we were working on learning skills with a pocket knife over the summer and our camping trips, is a pair of gloves like this. These are called no-cry gloves. They're basically no-cut gloves, so that if you do run a blade against these gloves, they actually will not cut. So you cannot cut through this material, which is great. You could stab through it. So again, it's a great idea to have a knife with a rounded tip on it, but you cannot cut through this material, which is really handy and valuable for somebody who's first learning. And of course, you want to teach them, techniques of cutting away from themselves and different type of knife safety skills like that. The no-cry gloves are awesome for that. So this knife and those gloves are a great partner for first opportunity learning experience for a pocket knife. And my daughter's 8.5 years old. She's very responsible. This will stay in our camping kit, so it stays with her camping gear. She won't be using it outside of camping. The great thing about this knife is that it's fairly inexpensive. I think we picked this up for right around $14-15, and it should last a lifetime. This is made in France. These were originally made for soldiers in World War II because they were super light. This company has been around a really long time. They make a wide spectrum of knives of different blade qualities, different blade cuts. They all have a great weight and balance to them. So between the neck, the shaft, the handle, the blade size and shape, they all do a really great job of keeping a nice balance and holding a really good edge. There are different types of blades. This one is the Opinel Inox blade, and it holds an edge really well. There are some carbon blades that won't hold an edge quite as long, but they're easier to sharpen, won't last quite as long, and it could potentially rust. So you want to take a look at what blade is best for you. This one is a great blade for a great price, and I highly recommend it for teaching somebody how to use a knife. Using a knife is a lifelong skill that you want to have for just using around the house, using it as a tool, or using it in the kitchen. Optimally, you've got a sharp blade on a really good knife, and you're using it for all kinds of different types of different opportunities throughout the day in the workplace, in in the garage and doing hobbies, tools, just general techniques. The knife is one of the world's oldest tools. It's practically indispensable in daily living. Every home has one, either in the kitchen, the workroom, the desk drawer, and introducing children to knives is challenging because you want to make sure that they are well-intentioned and they have good responsibility. But when you're working with a child, there should always be an adult with them. And it's important to always keep in mind that a well-sharpened knife is much safer than a dull knife. When you have a dull knife, it can easily slip off of whatever you're cutting or carving and cut you. And if it's sharpened, it's going to keep contact with whatever you're cutting or carving much easier. And so, you know, having a well-maintained and well-sharpened blade is going to be much better than having a dull knife. So if you're taking a look at having a knife for yourself or one for a child or a nephew, niece, somebody who is just getting experienced with knives, somebody who's interested in knives, somebody who is interested in doing culinary type skills, the pocket knife is a great introduction and a great way to start. I think that once you become skilled with a pocket knife, moving on to a fixed blade like a kitchen knife is a great skill. Our daughter started with a kitchen knife first, and she is starting to do pretty well with cutting things uniformly and doing the right types of cuts for the right types of food items and vegetables. So this was a good progression for us. So whichever way you decide to go, whether it's first with a pocket knife or first with a kitchen knife, but I think having that skill is invaluable. It's a life tool, life lesson, something that you're going to come across your entire life. And it's one of the oldest tools that we've found humans used, and it's probably one that we're always going to use. It's a great survival tool. It's a great prep tool. It's a great tool for using in everyday scenarios around the house, in the workplace, and absolutely in the kitchen. So it's something to keep in mind, and I think it's this is a good starter. If you have any questions, just shoot them down below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, join the Danger Crew. We've got lots of things coming up, and I'm excited to have you with us.